I first want to ask, how many people have a Spotify or Apple Music account? So like the great majority. And that's not surprising because Spotify is the largest music streaming service with over 83 million paying subscribers. From a study from Nielsen, people are listening to music more than ever, an average around 32 hours per week, and Spotify is the main choice of this. According to Patrick Vonderoof from the Journal of Television and New Media, Spotify will soon, in the near future, surpass Netflix for the most paid subscription service. So, Spotify is huge, people are listening to a lot of music. Why does this matter? This matters because Spotify sets the standard and mold for every single music streaming service. This is a known effect, and Vonderoof coined this as the Spotify effect. The problem is that all these music services are modeling after a model that extremely underpays artists. And if unchanged, artists will not be able to sustain themselves and make the music that we all love to listen to. According to Kabir Siegel from CNBC, an average stream on Spotify averages from 0.006 cents to 0.0084 cents. You may be thinking, wow, that's a really low number per stream, and you're right, but it gets even worse. This doesn't go straight to the artist. This fraction of a cent is split between the artist, the record label, audio engineers, etc. For example, take Taylor Swift, one of the biggest artists in the entire world and one of the main advocates against Spotify. You know the song Shake It Off, the song that you couldn't avoid for like a year? That song only made around $280,000. And that song was streamed over millions and millions of times. To put it into better perspective, 1 million streams on Spotify only equals to $7,000. And that's still split between the record label and the artist. This problem gets even worse if you use a service like Pandora. On Pandora, 1 million streams equals to only $1,650. The old model of buying music, of buying per album, per song, was actually way more supportive for artists. But I understand now that today people expect unlimited music for a subscription fee. So I propose 2 solutions that could fix this. The first way is using services like Tidal. You might have heard Tidal from artists such as Jay-Z, Daft Punk, Beyonce, etc. And the main focus of this was to fairly pay artists for streaming. Tidal averages around 0.007 cents per stream on the low end. And this model has seemed to resonate with a lot of music listeners. According to Time Magazine, Tidal now has over 3 million concurrent subscribers, and it takes up around 10% of the music sharing market. The second way I think is more interesting is what Radiohead did with their album In Rainbows. What they did was a pay for what you want to pay method. When they released that album, you could put any dollar amount to pay for the album, and you would get it, even $0. You may be thinking, wow, probably a lot of people just got it for free, and you'd be right. But actually, this sold over 3 million copies in a few months. And surprisingly, it made more money than their previous album, Hail to the Thief. Although these are exceptions, and with people going outside the rule, most people cannot do that. Most people and artists are trying to put out their music on SoundCloud or Spotify. But these services only really help artists who already have a name out for themselves. And this only exacerbates the problem of musicians trying to survive. However, it's not all doom and gloom. A few months ago, Trump signed the Music Modernization Act. And although it's a great step in the direction, it's far from perfect. The first thing it does was allow bands before the 1970s to now collect royalties. So before, like bands like Queen or Led Zeppelin wouldn't actually get any royalties from the music. This now changes. The second thing that does, which is more important, it closes loopholes and creates an online database for licensings instead of physicals. So before, to get licenses, you would actually have to send out a handwritten letter or type out letter to the actual record label. So this was really slow, and this meant that a lot of artists lost a lot of time and money because that would spend like a month or two for the songs to get released and licensed. But now with a streamlined licensing system, artists are able to get their music license out faster, which means more opportunity to make money. Although this is not perfect, I propose a mixed system when releasing music. I suggest for the first few weeks, people should do a pay for what you want model, and then after a few weeks or how long the artist wants to do it for, it goes to the traditional ways of selling music, like buying albums, streaming, etc. But I believe that when artists go out and stream, that there should be a bare minimum of what artists should get. I suggest it be around 0.009 cents because this is a lot more than Spotify, but it's still not enough to jack up the prices for subscription fees. Although this is the best case scenario, I know that it's not really viable in the future. So what can you do now? I suggest that people consider at least switching to Tidal or any type of subscription service that helps support artists. Also, concerts and merchandise actually make up the great majority of an artist's revenue. So supporting artists any way you can, whether going to concerts or merchandise, helps a lot.